Is Spencer Johnson's Who Moved My Cheese a must-read book for you? In this video, Money Smart Basics will dive into the world of self-help and personal development to explore the timeless wisdom of this classic book. With its simple yet powerful allegory, Who Moved My Cheese has become a beloved guide for navigating change and finding success in an ever-evolving world. Discover the secrets to navigating change and finding success with Spencer Johnson's classic Who Moved My Cheese. Embrace the wisdom and start your transformation today. Remember to like and subscribe for more Money Smart Basics videos. Hey there, bookworms and cheese enthusiasts. Today we're diving into a book that's as cheesy as its title suggests. We're talking about Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. This little book has sold millions of copies worldwide, making it a certifiable bestseller. It's a quick read, but don't let that fool you. This book packs a punch when it comes to life lessons. Dr. Johnson, a medical doctor turned leadership guru, wrote this book as a simple parable. Published in 1998, it quickly gained traction in the corporate world for its insightful take on change management. But don't think for a second that this is just a dry business book. Who Moved My Cheese is for anyone and everyone who's ever faced a change, big or small. So he crafted this charming tale to help us navigate the maze of life's inevitable twists and turns. Now you might be wondering, what's with the cheese? Well, hold your horses because we're getting there. The beauty of Who Moved My Cheese lies in its simplicity. Johnson uses an analogy, a story about cheese, to illustrate a much deeper point about how we handle change. The cheese in the story represents anything and everything we value in life. It could be a job, a relationship, material possessions, or even our own beliefs. Think of the maze as the journey of life. It's full of twists, turns, dead ends, and hopefully some delicious cheese along the way. The story follows four characters, two mice, Sniff and Scurry, and two little people, Hem and Haw. These characters represent the different ways we humans respond to change. Each character's journey through the maze mirrors our own experiences with change. And finally, there's Haw, who initially resists but eventually learns to adapt. Who Moved My Cheese resonated with millions because it offered a simple yet profound message. Change is inevitable. The book's continued popularity speaks volumes about its timeless wisdom. It's a reminder that no matter who we are or what we do, we'll all face unexpected detours in our lives. The question is, how will we react when our cheese is moved? Will we cling to the past, or will we adapt and thrive in the face of uncertainty? It reminds us that change, while often challenging, can also lead to new opportunities and growth. Picture this, a vast, intricate maze. That's where our story takes place. The maze represents life itself, full of twists, turns, and unexpected dead ends. It's a place of exploration, challenge, and of course, the pursuit of something we all crave: cheese. Now this isn't just any ordinary cheese. This cheese represents our hopes, dreams, goals, everything we strive for in life. Whatever it is that brings us joy and satisfaction, that's our cheese. Our four characters, Sniff, Scurry, Hem, and Haw, spend their days navigating this maze. Every morning, our four characters would set out from their little homes, eager to find their daily dose of cheese. Sniff, with his keen sense of smell, would lead the way, his nose twitching with anticipation. Scurry, always quick on his feet, would scurry right behind, eager to get his paws on that cheesy goodness. Hem and Haw, being little people, were a bit slower and more methodical in their approach. They'd put on their running shoes, grab their cheese-finding maps, and discuss the best route to take. Despite their differences, they all shared a common goal: to find the cheese that would sustain them and bring them happiness. They found their favorite cheese station, Cheese Station C, and life was good. One day, however, everything changed. Our four characters arrived at Cheese Station C, their usual spot, only to find nothing. The cheese, their precious cheese, was gone, vanished. The mice, Sniff and Scurry, though initially surprised, didn't waste much time dwelling on the empty cheese station. They knew that change was a natural part of the maze. They trusted their instincts, sniffed around a bit, and without hesitation set off in search of new cheese. Hem and Haw, on the other hand, were not as quick to adapt. They stood there in stunned silence, staring at the empty cheese station as if they couldn't believe their eyes. "Who moved our cheese?" Hem bellowed, his voice echoing through the empty corridors of the maze. This unexpected change threw their world into disarray, and they didn't know what to do next. Now, Sniff and Scurry, being mice, were creatures of instinct. They didn't overthink things. When they discovered Cheese Station C bare, they sniffed around briefly, accepted the situation, and immediately set off in search of new cheese. Sniff, with his superior sense of smell, took the lead, his nose twitching as he explored every nook and cranny of the maze. Scurry, always eager and energetic, scurried right behind, his little legs carrying him swiftly down the maze's winding paths. They weren't afraid of the unknown, they simply embraced the change and adapted to their new reality. While Hem and Haw were still reeling from the shock, Sniff and Scurry were already well on their way to discovering new, and potentially even better cheese. Back at the empty cheese station C, Hem and Haw were a picture of despair. They couldn't comprehend how their cheese, their source of comfort and security, could simply vanish. "This isn't fair," Hem exclaimed, his voice filled with indignation. "We worked hard for that cheese." Haw, usually the calmer of the two, was equally distraught. He paced back and forth, wringing his hands, his mind racing with questions. "Who could have done this?" he muttered. They reminisced about the good old days when Cheese Station C was overflowing with their favorite cheese. They blamed everyone but themselves for their predicament. Their fear and resistance to change paralyzed them, preventing them from moving forward and finding new opportunities. Days turned into nights, and still Hem and Haw remained at Cheese Station C, hoping against hope that the cheese would magically reappear. They argued about who was to blame. They reminisced about the past, and they complained about the unfairness of it all. But their cheese didn't return. Their inaction only deepened their despair. They were trapped in a cycle of negativity, their fear and resistance to change consuming them. Their plight served as a cautionary tale about the dangers of complacency, of becoming too comfortable with the status quo. One day, after what felt like an eternity, a glimmer of hope flickered in Haw's mind. He realized that their current approach, waiting and hoping for the cheese to return, was futile. They were wasting precious time and energy clinging to the past. He started to see the wisdom in Sniff and Scurry's simple, instinctive response to the situation. They hadn't wasted time complaining or dwelling on the past. They had accepted the change and moved on. Maybe, just maybe, it was time for him and Hem to do the same. But Hem was stuck in his ways, comfortable in his misery, unwilling to let go of the past and embrace the unknown. Haw found himself at a crossroads. He could continue to wallow in self-pity with Hem, clinging to the memory of the cheese that was no more. Or he could choose to confront his fears, embrace the unknown, and set out on his own in search of new cheese. The thought of venturing into the maze alone, without his trusty companion Hem, filled Haw with trepidation. But then, he thought of Sniff and Scurry. Those two little mice, with their simple worldview and unwavering instinct, had adapted to the change without hesitation. They were out there somewhere, exploring, discovering, and most likely enjoying some delicious new cheese. Haw realized that his fear, while understandable, was holding him back. With a deep breath and a newfound sense of determination, Haw decided to take a leap of faith. He bid farewell to Hem, who remained stubbornly rooted in his negativity, and ventured out into the maze alone. At first, every twist and turn filled Haw with anxiety. He felt lost and uncertain, unsure of where he was going or what he might find. But as he pressed on, something remarkable began to happen. He started to enjoy the challenge. He began to see the maze not as a prison, but as a place of endless possibility. As Haw journeyed deeper into the maze, he stumbled upon little pieces of cheese along the way. They weren't the same as the cheese he had grown accustomed to at Cheese Station C, but they were enough to sustain him, to keep him going. Each piece of cheese he found filled him with a sense of accomplishment, a reminder that he was capable of adapting, of overcoming challenges, of finding his way. He began to leave little trails of cheese behind him, hoping that Hem might find them and be encouraged to follow. He wrote encouraging messages on the maze walls, hoping that his words might inspire his friend to embrace change and join him on his journey. Haw's journey was not without its setbacks, but he never gave up. Haw's transformation was a testament to the power of adaptability, the importance of letting go of the past, and the rewards that come with embracing change. He realized that clinging to old ways, even when they no longer serve us, can be detrimental to our growth and well-being. He learned that change, while often challenging, can lead to new and exciting opportunities if we are open to them. And he discovered that the greatest cheese of all is often found not in our comfort zones, but in the unknown. Haw's journey through the maze served as a powerful metaphor for the human experience. It reminded us that life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and that our ability to adapt to change is crucial to our happiness and success. Now let's talk about how this whole cheese chase relates to our work life. Who Moved My Cheese became a hit in the corporate world for a reason. It perfectly illustrates the dynamics of change in a professional setting. Think about it. The cheese could be your job security, a promotion you're after, or even just the satisfaction of a job well done. But just like in the maze, that cheese can shift. Companies restructure, technology advances, and what was once valued might become obsolete. Those who are like Sniff and Scurry, always sniffing out new skills and opportunities, are the ones who thrive. They embrace new technologies, adapt to changing demands, and are always ready to pivot when needed. Section 2. Personal growth and the cheese factor. This cheese analogy isn't just limited to our careers though. It applies to our personal lives just as much. Think about the cheese as our goals, relationships, or even our own beliefs about ourselves. Life throws curveballs. Relationships evolve, goals change, and what once brought us joy might lose its shine. Just like in the maze, we have a choice. We can resist these changes, clinging to the past and wondering why things can't stay the same. Or we can choose to adapt, to embrace the unknown, and to see these changes as opportunities for growth. Maybe a relationship ends, but it opens the door for a new, more fulfilling one. Perhaps a personal goal no longer resonates, but it leads us down a new path we might never have discovered otherwise. The key is to recognize when the cheese has moved and to be willing to adjust our course accordingly. Section 3. Moving your own cheese. Here's a thought-provoking idea. Sometimes we need to move our own cheese. That's right, instead of waiting for change to happen to us, we can be the ones to initiate it. This could mean taking a leap of faith in our careers, trying something new, or letting go of relationships that no longer serve us. It's about recognizing when we've become too comfortable, when we've stopped growing and learning. It's about challenging ourselves to step outside our comfort zones and to embrace the unknown. Remember Haw? He eventually realized that waiting for the cheese to magically reappear was futile. He had to take action, to venture out on his own, to move his own cheese. And in doing so, he discovered a strength and resilience he never knew he possessed. Moving our own cheese can be scary, no doubt about it. But it can also be incredibly liberating. It allows us to become active participants in our own lives, to shape our destinies, and to create the kind of life we truly desire. Section 1. Too much cheese? Now some folks out there find "Who moved my cheese?" a bit too simplistic. They argue that it oversimplifies complex issues of change and glosses over the very real pain and struggle that often come with it. And yeah, I get it. Life ain't always as straightforward as a maze with cheese scattered about. Change can be messy, unpredictable, and downright heartbreaking at times. Critics argue that the book places too much emphasis on individual responsibility and doesn't adequately address systemic factors that can hinder progress. They point out that sometimes, it's not just about adapting our attitude, it's about addressing unfair systems and fighting for change on a larger scale. They argue that focusing solely on individual adaptation might lead to complacency with injustice. They suggest that instead of simply accepting that the cheese has moved, we should also question why it moved in the first place and who benefited from its relocation. Section 2. The enduring appeal of simplicity. While these criticisms have merit, it's important to remember the book's purpose. Who Moved My Cheese isn't a comprehensive guide to every nuance of change. It's a fable, a simple story with a powerful message. Think of it as a conversation starter. It encourages self-reflection and dialogue about change. Sometimes, simplicity is key. A simple story can cut through the noise and resonate deeply. Who Moved My Cheese provides that nudge. It empowers us to take ownership of our choices and adopt a positive outlook on change. Section 1. The cheese stands alone. So there you have it, folks. Who Moved My Cheese? In all its cheesy glory. It's a story about change, about adaptation, and about the power of letting go. It's about those little mice, Sniff and Scurry, who just rolled with the punches and found more cheese, and it's about Hem and Haw. Those little people who remind us that it's okay to struggle with change, but we can't let it paralyze us. The beauty of this book lies in its simplicity. It takes a complex issue like change and boils it down to its core elements. It gives us characters we can relate to, even if they are mice and little people. And it leaves us with a sense of hope, a belief that even when things feel uncertain, there's always a way forward. It's a reminder that we all have a little bit of Sniff, Scurry, Hem, and Haw in us. There are times when we're quick to adapt, and times when we dig in our heels. The key is to recognize these tendencies in ourselves and to strive for that balance of action and acceptance. Section 2, a timeless classic? Now, is Who Moved My Cheese a perfect book? Maybe not. Some folks find it a little too simplistic, a little too focused on individual responsibility. And they're not wrong. The world is a complex place, and change isn't always as simple as finding new cheese. But even with its critics, this little book has stood the test of time. It's still flying off the shelves, still being shared in workplaces and classrooms. And I think that says something about its enduring message. In a world that's changing faster than ever, we need reminders like this. Reminders to be adaptable, to embrace the unknown, and to remember that change, while often challenging, is also an opportunity for growth. Section 3. Finding your way. So the next time you find yourself wondering, who moved my cheese? Remember the lessons from this little book. Don't get stuck in the past. Don't be afraid to explore new paths. And most importantly, trust that there's always more cheese out there waiting to be discovered. Your cheese might be a new career, a deeper relationship, a newfound passion, or simply a greater sense of peace within yourself. Whatever it is, don't be afraid to go after it. Life is a journey, a maze full of twists and turns. Embrace the adventure. And remember, sometimes the best thing you can do is to grab your running shoes and start sniffing out some new cheese.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. With that, you are ahead of 90% of most people in America. Here is the bonus tip that we promised. Why do 90% of life-changing moments come from unexpected sources? Timeless classics spark change because they resonate deeply with our experiences. Pick up a classic today and see where it takes you. The information in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and is not intended as financial advice. We are not financial advisors, and the content should not be construed as professional financial advice. Always seek the advice of a qualified financial advisor or other professional regarding your specific financial situation. The use of any information provided in this video is solely at your own risk. Please remember to like, subscribe and comment for more Money Smart Basics videos.